So this will be the third video I'm making concerning coming to Canada and staying in Canada. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to apply for your postgraduate work permit. It's very straightforward. So a postgraduate work permit is a document that allows you to work in Canada upon graduation, upon completion of your course, provided you went to a designated learning institution, which I mentioned or talked about that in my very first video. And at this point in time, I know you have your IRCC account created. Without wasting much time, let's get into our IRCC account and I'll show you how to apply for your postgraduate work permit. So I've already signed in into my IRCC account, and just like the study permits, we scroll all the way down here to look for start an application, and then we click apply to come to Canada. We have to first determine our eligibility for a work permit. So I'll go ahead and click on visitor visa study permit, and then just like the study permit, you'll be asked a series of questions. So what would you like to do in Canada? I would like to work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? I would say temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches your passport. That will be Ghana in this case. What is your country or territory of residence? So for this case, I will select Canada because I just graduated and the assumption is that I'm still in Canada. So I will choose Canada for this one. Do you have a family member who is a permanent resident or citizen? I would say yes. Date of birth, I'll put it there. Are you a lawful permanent resident? I'd say no to that. Click next. What is your current immigration status in Canada? So I'd say, oh, I'm a student, and I'll click next. Do you plan to work on campus? I'd say no. Click next. Are you a full-time student at a participating post-secondary institution and want to work off campus? I would say no because I graduated. Have you recently graduated from a participating Canadian post-secondary institution for which your study was a full-time and a minimum of 8 months? I would say yes to that. Is your work an essential part of your studies? I would say no, and then I'll click next. Have you been told by an Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada office that you are approved in principle for permanent residence in Canada? I would say no. Have you submitted a permanent resident application in Canada? No. Do you have a written job offer? If you do have a written job offer, you can say yes, but if you don't, that's okay, just say no and click next. Do you have an official letter from your school that confirms you've completed your study program as well as a copy of your final transcript? I'd say yes. And at this point, you should have already requested an official letter from your school stating that you have completed the studies. And also you should request for your final transcript. So I'll proceed and click next. And what's your marital status? I'll say never married, single. What is your province or territory of destination? I will choose Nova Scotia for that and click next. Are you currently or will you be living in Canada with a parent or legal guardian? I would say no to that and click next. Based on the information I provided, the results below indicate whether you may be eligible to come to Canada. I mean, I'm already in Canada, but I'm applying for a postgraduate work permit. So that's what I'm going to apply for. So I'll click continue on that and click continue again. Do you have an official letter from your school that confirms you've completed your study program? I'll say yes, I do have it, and I'll click next. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? I'd say no and click next. The question here says, do you fit into any one of these categories? So health sciences worker, clinical laboratory, patient attendant, medical student admitted to Canada, medical elective, teacher of primary or secondary schools. None of this applies to me, so I'll choose no and I click next. Do you want to work in one of the following jobs? I will choose no to that and click next. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? I would say no to that as well and click next. Are you giving someone access to your application? I would say no to that and click next. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprint and photo for an application to come to Canada? I would say yes to that and click next. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees or are you exempt? I would say yes, I'll be paying my fees and I'll click next to that. Are you able to make a digital copy of your document with a scanner or camera? I would say yes and click next. Will you be paying your fees online? I would say yes to that and click next. So these are the answers that I provided and I will proceed to click continue. I have 60 days, which is about 2 months, to submit the application online. And so I have to make sure that I have all the documents available to me and then I can upload them within 60 days so that I can apply for my postgraduate work permit. So I'll proceed to click on continue, and based on everything that I provided, the application form I have to submit is application to change condition, extend my stay, or remain in Canada as a worker. So I'm changing my status in Canada from a student to a worker. So this is the application that I have to fill. So you go ahead and download this application and open it with a PDF reader, an Acrobat PDF reader, and then fill it out. So for supporting document, I have to submit my recent education transcript, or which is the final transcript, a completion letter from my school, a passport, and then a digital photo. So passport will be the passport, that should be the bio data page of your passport, and then a digital photo of yourself. Again, these are optional documents that you can fill, but it is not mandatory for you to fill it. And the fee for the postgraduate work permit is $255. So if I had all my documents ready, I'll just proceed to upload them. And then once everything is completed and has been uploaded, there'll be another button here that would ask me to proceed to pay and then submit my application. So what happens next when you submit your application? You get a confirmation of receipt from IRCC. Then you just wait on IRCC to go through your application, and then if your application is approved, you'll be emailed again and you'd log into your IRCC account and you'd see that your application has been approved. And then there'll be a correspondence letter. In the letter will tell you that your application was approved, and they would send you your postgraduate work permit in the mail. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below and I'll do well to answer them. I hope you learned something in this video and now you know how to apply for your postgraduate work permit. Thanks, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.